It is very well known that Donald Trump is weak and wrong on national security and foreign policy. It is well known that he admires dictators, wants to be a dictator on day one, according to himself. It is well known that he said of Putin that he can do whatever the hell he wants and go into Ukraine. It is well known that he said when Russia went into Ukraine, it was brilliant. It is well known he exchanged love letters with Kim Jong-un. And it is absolutely well known that these dictators and autocrats are rooting for you to be president again because they're so clear. They can manipulate you with flattery and favors. And that is why so many military leaders who you have worked with have told me you are a disgrace. That is why we understand that we have to have a president who is not consistently weak and wrong on national security, including the importance of upholding and respecting in highest regard our military.
All right, guys, Carlton Flowers here with the Go Political channel. And as promised, we have to continue with the lies and distortions that were told by Vice President Kamala Harris during the 2024 presidential debate. I tell you what, I've been very, very busy, and this is going to be an endeavor that will take a long time because there's a lot of points that I want to cover. So in this video, we're going to keep it short and just focus on the comments made by Kamala Harris concerning foreign policy, dictators, and the military. So as you saw in the introduction, all of the statements that she made, and we're just going to give an opinion and discuss each one of these statements one by one. So the first one that we'll cover, as she was saying that Trump is weak and wrong on foreign policy and he admires dictators. So I guess that's a matter of opinion. I don't think that Donald Trump was weak on foreign policy when he was the seated president during his first tenure, and I was in support of his foreign policy. Now, as far as admiring dictators, you know, that's just another thing that you just have to have your own opinion on. But then the next comment that she makes, that Donald Trump wants to be a dictator on day one, he said it with his own mouth. Now, this is interesting. The way I see this is Donald Trump will make a statement in jest. Since everyone accuses him of being a dictator, which is a baseless accusation, because if he was a dictator, he would still be in the White House today. I personally don't understand why people think that he is a dictator. But we'll just leave that, alone for now. So since so many of the opponents of Donald Trump claim that he's a dictator, he jokes about it. And he says, well, yeah, I'll be a dictator on day one at least. I'll be a dictator, as he steps into office and gets rid of everyone in the administration that is not going to be kept on. Now, this is something that happens each and every time that the office of the presidency changes. Every president, including Joe Biden, Barack Hussein Obama, Bill Clinton, George Bush Sr., George Herbert Walker Bush, it doesn't matter who it is. They fire people on day one. So this statement was made in jest, but then Kamala Harris uses that to incite fear among those who support her, to keep them supporting her, and to try to, I guess, scare people into not voting for Trump. But I think that those who support Donald Trump are going to continue to support him because they understand the sarcasm, that he was merely reacting to the baseless claims that he is a dictator. Now, the next statement that he made was interesting, where she claims that, well, Trump said that Putin can do whatever the hell he wants to do and go into Ukraine, and that was a brilliant idea. Well, let's talk about that as we read an article from CNN, and it is true, Trump did say that he would encourage Russia to do whatever the hell they want to do to any NATO country that doesn't pay enough money.
One of the presidents of a big country stood up and said, well, sir, if we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? I said, you didn't pay? You're delinquent? He said, yes, let's say that happened. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want.
So that's the point. That's the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey used to say. You young people aren't going to know who that is.
Now you know the rest of the story.
I agree 100%. We are shelling out twice the amount of money that the NATO nations pay when it comes to funding these proxy wars and paying for the military and the munitions all over Europe. Now, when it comes to the Ukraine, they are not a part of NATO. And I agree with Donald Trump. Russia can do whatever the hell they want to do with the Ukraine. That's an Eastern Bloc nation, first of all. They're not a part of NATO, second of all. Third of all, there are Russians who live on the east side who were being mistreated. And they were under the oppression of the Ukrainians who are not Russian. In fact, there were stories of the water supply not being kept up. Many, many stories. You'll have to look that up on your own. And so Russia was defending their own people that live in the eastern part of Ukraine. Now, a few facts about the Ukraine. It's in the top 10 nations, most corrupt nations in the world today. And it is the seat of the neo-Nazi party. The Ukraine is one of the most racist nations in the world. You can read story after story of the mistreatment of black people. Yes, black people, Africans in the country of Ukraine. Therefore, I have the same attitude. Why do we taxpayers have to pay double in the grocery store because our federal government wants to spend hundreds of billions of dollars to support a war effort fighting over a country that is detestable? So I agree. Let them do whatever the hell they're going to do, because obviously the hundreds of billions of dollars that we spent, it's not going to help the Ukraine to win that war. It's a futile effort. Now, sure, we want all of their natural resources. You can look up and find out about all of the products coming from the Ukraine that benefits the United States, such as grain, and it is rich in mineral resources. But you know what? Unless the United States military sets up camp and adds the Ukraine to NATO, they're not going to win that war. So I'm going to go ahead and agree with Donald Trump and say, I don't care what the hell Russia does with the Ukraine. Let them have it and save us the money. But the reason why we're spending that money is because the defense contractors and the investment firms make a hell of a lot of profit in supporting that proxy war. All right, well, let's go to the next statement here that she made that was a little bit dubious, and I'm going to play you a short video clip. She said that Donald Trump exchanged love letters with Kim Jong-un. Love letters. Now, here's another example of Donald Trump making a statement in jest, sarcasm, humor added, where she takes that literally and then uses it against him. So let's cut to the clip and see what Donald Trump actually said. And as you watch this video, I want you to tell me if you seriously think that he meant what he was saying or if this was joking and kidding. Cut to the clip.
I was really being tough, and so was he. And we would go back and forth, and then we fell in love, okay? No, really. He wrote me beautiful letters, and they're great letters. We fell in love. But you know what? Now they'll say, Donald Trump said they fell in love. How horrible. How horrible is that? So unpresidential.
Well, there it is. He called it out. And what happened? She did exactly what he predicted. That's pretty interesting. So just another example of taking something said in jest and turning it around and using it against someone. Okay, so the next point was dictators and autocrats are rooting for Trump because they can manipulate him with flattery. Well, that's an interesting comment that she made, which I find to be not totally truthful. Why? Because truthfully speaking, she won't talk about what happened last week or a couple weeks ago when Vladimir Putin, one of those evil dictators that she mentioned that just loves Trump and are rooting for him, stated that he is backing Kamala for president. Well, there's no real way to back your way out of that one, so we'll call that one dispelled. Next, she said that military leaders told her that Donald Trump is a disgrace and that we need a president that isn't weak and wrong on national security, including the importance of upholding and respecting in highest regard of our military. Now, let me ask you about this. What happened during the ceremony, the remembrance ceremony for the Gold Star families, for the 13 people who lost their lives during the exit from Afghanistan? Well, those families, they came forward on video to make statements after Kamala Harris blasted Donald Trump for politicizing the National Cemetery and breaking federal law. But the family said that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris never once reached out to them to express any sympathy or sorrow for the loss of their loved ones. And they invited Donald Trump themselves because they wanted a real leader to show up for them, which he did. So it's interesting that not one phone call was made, not one sympathy card was sent, but she just made the statement during the debate that it is very important that we uphold and respect and put in highest regard our military. Now, is it putting the military in highest regard when the parents of those fallen soldiers have to come out on video and lambaste Kamala Harris and Joe Biden for not ever reaching out, for not ever showing up to one of their gatherings in remembrance of their lost loved ones? Is that holding them in highest regard? Well, I don't think so, but maybe you do. Maybe there's another side of the story. Maybe the Gold Star families are just lying themselves. Well, whatever your thoughts are, you can post it in the comments. And I know that some of you who are Kamala Harris supporters will get angry and upset with this analysis, but it's just an opinion. It's all right. It is my goal to point out the lies that she told during the debate. It is not my responsibility to point out lies told by Donald Trump. Is he perfect? No, he is not. Did he make some statements that he should not have during that debate? Yes, he did. The cats and dogs, I didn't care too much for that. And I thought it only turned out to be a distraction. It did not help him to make his points. But I am going to continue on in support of Donald Trump and exposing the lies told during the debate. And you're going to love the next video where I will debunk this whole story that she told about the border when she said that Donald Trump was the reason why they can't control the border because he killed the border bill. And you won't believe when I expose the truth of that story. But you're going to have to wait till the next video. That's all I've got for now. And I would love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe to the Go Political channel so you don't miss any of this series exposing the more than 20 lies that were told by Kamala Harris during the debate. And with that, this is Carlton, and I am out.
Well, as as I said, you're going to hear a bunch of lies, and that's not actually a surprising fact.